All right.
Damn.
You okay?
Yeah.
I just had some stuff acting up here.
Oh, on your computer there? I don't know. Something's. Has it been? Has the Wi-Fi been screwing up at your area, Arc, like it has mine a couple times in
Uh,
the past?
no, I'm not having a problem with that.
Because a lot of times when I'm late at night, when I'm trying to record something on my OBS, apparently the internet, the Wi-Fi would go out, and for some reason it would come back on. I don't know what's where I have my computer set up, or the Wi-Fi system in the house, or the area that we live in. I do not know.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that kind of bugs me. I don't know.
Well, actually, I'm on I'm on a DSL, which is I know antiquated as heck,
And
but I do that wireless to the DSL terminal I have here.
all right there. Yeah, yeah. Well, by the
I
way,
got like
YR, good
5
news.
devices on it.
By the way, good news, YR. I fixed that issue with that pedal box on my guitar. Turns out I needed to change the damn battery. Oh, jeez. Smack across my face there for forgetting. But then again, I haven't done the guitar
You gotta
video.
have
What
you
again?
gotta have you gotta have sometimes the battery inside and the jack plugged into the wall, like it plugged into the wall too.
Yeah,
Like
but
like that wall pedal I got, you gotta have
yes.
the battery in it and you have to have the jack plugged into the wall.
All
I
right.
think.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but unfortunately, the pedal I have doesn't come with that. So,
Uh
yeah, it's the
well
old
there
used.
is
It is a used one.
well we're live on my channel now, but I
Good,
did want
good.
to get it with the obviously we're gonna do the list, the prog rock, but I wanted to we need not to forget what Gene Simmons came out and said about the COVID stuff.
Alrighty.
You're,
What did he say? Are we gonna save that for later?
Yeah, we'll save it for later. Basically, like unvaccinated people are like. Let me see exactly what he said. Like he shunned vaccinated people,
Oh
and
gosh.
let me see exactly what he said here. Blah, blah, blah. We'll get into it later, but I'll just give you I can't believe you didn't see this. Is big news.
Oh wow.
Big news. Let's see.
I guess people who are fighting against the vaccines are gonna have an issue with this. I know about that.
He says you're an enemy. Basically, for the people that are unvaccinated, he's calling them the enemy.
No.
But he also calls out the right and left for their bullshit as well. But
Well,
Simmons said
well,
unvaccinated people are not allowed to infect anyone just because you think you got rights. You're delusional. This whole idea. I mean, we'll get into more of it, but he kind of went off the hinge there,
all right
Mr.
there.
Simmons.
Yeah.
I know. We got to talk about that definitely for sure there. You know. All right, so welcome to everybody to Arknolia and the Doctor. Our episode number was it 76?
76, I believe.
76, yeah.
Yeah.
And our prog rock A to Z list is still continuing as we speak there. And I think we left off at the I's or the J. No, I think it was the I.
In the middle of the K's.
In the middle of the K's.
Well, I
That's
think-
right there, yeah.
I think whenever we're done with the prog rock list, we need to redo the big four. The British bands.
Oh, yeah.
Or either that or the big, like the Metallica Big Four, or like the British bands Big Four. You know what I'm
So
saying?
the U.S. Big Four and the U.K. Big Four, definitely.
Yeah.
We got to talk about them, yeah.
Like the Judas Priest, Maiden, Sabbath, and then Motorhead would
Motorhead,
be.
yes. And of course the U.S. version being Metallica, Anthrax, Slayer, and Megadeth.
Exodus?
Megadeth.
Oh, Megadeth.
Megadeth, yeah.
Megadeth. Should Exodus be in there or no?
I don't know, but Exodus was not that big of a metal band. He only had one memorable song that people remember.
I think I know another group that one of those groups said should be in the big. I think is Anthrax in that group or no?
No, one of the guys from Exodus later came to guitar player for Slayer, taking over Jeff Hanneman's place
Okay,
there.
that's what I
Gary
get mixed
Holmes
up.
is his name.
Yes.
And he became a permanent member after Hanneman's death in 2013 there. So we definitely got to take a look at both those genres there. Well, definitely both those areas there, the U.S. and the U.K. Big Four there. We got to look at definitely. Right. So we're still in the middle of the K's, as we all know.
We left off with
King.
King Crimson.
Yeah, that's right. One of my favorites there. I know I have said a lot about them, so I already have to look at the last episode and the special we did on them weeks back, to fully get a full understanding of them. I gave them too much praise, too much times there, but I did.
Not really.
Oh, yeah. Already? Not really?
Not really. They deserve a lot of the praise they get.
But yeah, a lot, yeah, absolutely. You got it right. You got a point there, man, because they're still regarded as one of the best underground prog, not really underground, but they still keep their audience and their status to a minimum because they refuse to sell out. They refuse to go pop like Genesis did, and they basically, they still have their massive cult audience. I mean, when I saw them 2 times back in the early 2000s at the Royal Oak Music Theater and the State Theater, places were packed to the gills because people wanted to see Robert Fripp and his crew and Adrian Belew do their stuff there.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're coming out with a new album or anything. It's been a while since they had one. I think the one I remember was 2003's The Power to Believe, which I have downloaded, and I've heard some of the tracks from that. It's pretty good there. It's kind of like a Construction of Light Part 2, needless to say there.
Okay, next one I got in line here is King's X.
Yeah. I didn't really know they were a prog band there.
Supposedly they are.
Anyway, but first time I heard of them was that song King, which was about Martin Luther King Jr.
Right.
And basically was a call to end racism because the singer and bass player, was a black, and reportedly he's also a gay man, from what I remember hearing about a couple years ago. So basically it was like a call to action to end all prejudice and all racism in that song there. And I remember seeing them open up for a band called Hurricane, back at the Ritz in Roseville, Michigan there. I remember, never believe this, they did a pretty good set there. I enjoyed it there. Now, when it's time to see the band Hurricane perform, I was sitting, Doug Pinnick, I think his name was, he was sitting next to me, and we were both looking at this one moron. He was stoned out on acid, big beer belly, mustache, kind of stuff there. And we both looked at each other like, oh, geez, man. So sad. But that's my real big memory of King's X there. Their good performance at the Ritz and that right there. That in particular observation of that moron on the acid there.
Funny what you'll remember, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Next one I got is King's
Oops.
Kingdom Come.
Oh, man. I didn't know they were prog.
Ooh.
I didn't consider them prog, but apparently they are.
Didn't one of these bands, either Kingdom Come or King's X, or maybe I'm thinking of another one, Metallica covered one of their songs.
Not that I know of. I don't know. Well,
is there a Diamond something?
You
King
talk
Diamond?
about King Diamond. That's who you're talking about. Yeah, and he's not prog. He's more like a dark metal.
Oh, all right.
Him and his old band Merciful Fate.
He's listening to music in the background.
That's my ringtone.
All right.
Not me. I just have this on right here. But
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, nice. Now, Kingdom Come, I remember many people were taking shots at them when they first came out because they had a sound that was more similar to Led Zeppelin if they were to debut at around that time, which was around 1988.
Yeah.
I remember Jimmy Page called them.
And I'm trying to remember what their song was that was played all the time.
Get It On.
Yeah, Get It On. That was it.
Yes, absolutely. They followed up with this other song that sounded similar to Since I've Been Loving You. I forgot the title of their song, but I remember it was the exact kind of a bluesy type of style. It's kind of rearranged the same way there. But I remember that the singer, Lenny Wolf, I did a review on his old band, Stone Fury back. He was the singer for Stone Fury for a couple of albums. One of the albums called "Burns Like a Star," which I highly recommend, is one of my other favorites on my MP3. There, good album to play when you're bike riding in sunlight there on a warm sunny
Yeah.
day. Pretty good album either way there. Now he would. I don't know if Kingdom Come is still together or whichever there, but I remember there was a lots of flack towards that group because coming from everybody from Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden, claiming that they're not creating their own sound. Robert Plant, kind of dismissed them. Jimmy Page called them Kingdom Clone at one point. Yeah, because a lot of people were saying that they were trying to rip off Led Zeppelin. And I guess that kind of tag, kind
And
of
of all
like,
groups to accuse people,
I know,
and of all groups to accuse people of ripping people off.
I know.
How,
But then
how many Led Zeppelin songs are semi-stolen, you might say?
that's true there. I mean,
What do you mean?
yeah, Zeppelin added a lot of other people's songs into their earlier albums, like the piece, "I Am the Hunter" from Booker T and the MGs. That was mixed into the Zeppelin song "How Many More Times."
Yep.
And we cannot forget the Scott McKenzie song "San Francisco." Robert Plant sang first few lyrics of that song while they was doing the slow part during their rendition of "Dazed and Confused."
Well,
It's
that's why they weren't really vocal, I guess, about I guess why. Remember Jimmy Page, didn't he work with P Diddy? Didn't P Diddy do
Yes, they did. They did a reworking of
Puff Daddy?
yeah, they did. Yeah, they did a song called
Cashmere, right?
Yeah, they did the same. It was the same song re-recorded, but where
Same riff
Puffy.
or something.
Yep, same chords, same riff, same style, same riffs. And what they did is, P Diddy decided to rap over that, and that was later used in the Godzilla movie soundtrack in that year,
Yeah,
which was
yeah.
'98.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that was when like it was really bad. The Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
It was like, wasn't it called Godzilla 2000 or something?
No, it was
Or
just
wasn't
it was just
like
no, it was just simply called Godzilla, and yes, it was really bad because the Godzilla that we know and love was a fighter, had an attitude, had a beer gut, and the Godzilla in that movie was looked like it was on steroids, and
Well,
didn't
listen,
really do much.
well, the point is that you look at your bands like Metallica when they made the big deal about Napster, blah 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 blah. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, what Puff Daddy did, he didn't steal the beat or the riff, whatever. He worked with Jimmy Page, so that you got to give Led Zeppelin and Jimmy Page props for that.
Yeah, they did. Plus
Obvious-
plus it took how many years, them to finally, get this issue straightened out with the song "Dazed and Confused" because that's the Led Zeppelin edition of that song was
That's
inspired.
the one band, bro. Like that's the one band that's still. I mean, I don't know exactly, health issues right now. I don't know, but like, if you're still around, bro, and if you're a big band like that, why don't you still do some? I mean, I know they came back. Remember because they have a special they run on TV, the Celebration Day.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Yeah, the reunion
came
show.
back. Yeah, they came back. It was Jason Bonham's son on drums, obviously, but it was still, Page and Plant, bro. And I don't know if that
Jones.
was in the U.S. I think that was a one-time show at the O2 Arena.
Yeah, in
overseas.
London,
I
England.
don't think
yes.
it was I don't think it was a full tour, but I don't know. I guess people just get so old. I mean, these guys are what, 78 years old?
Yes,
Something
pretty
like
much.
that.
Yes, I know. Jimmy
It's
Page
sad,
has
bro.
he's got gray hair now.
It's sad. You look at Metallica; they're still going.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess just certain, bands just can't. Just the body breaks down, and I guess everyone's different at the end of the day. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
it's not just the
But-
body breaking down. It's also the issue of the chemistry of who replaces who there.
Yeah.
John Bonham was a badass drummer. Yeah, I mean, according to Barack Obama, when Zeppelin was inducted into the Kennedy Center, Obama said, John Bonham played the drums like his life damn well depended on it. And,
Right.
who's going to come close to playing drums like that? And if they ever did get somebody new, it would just, people would be like, well, he's good, but he's no Bonzo. or people say, "Oh, give it up," but Zeppelin should have died when Bonzo died there, which eventually they did. I mean, there was a long debate between if Kenny Jones should have been the new drummer for the Who after Keith Moon died. That was a long time debate.
Hmm. Well, who replaced Keith Moon?
Well, Kenny Jones. He used to play with the Faces back in the day there, years before. But yet his
See,
drum.
that would be another show we could do in the future. Like, who, if any, people that replaced, whether it's singer or whatever, was better. I mean, like a Brian Johnson, maybe you could throw in there.
Yeah. Well,
others, but, you know.
Brian Johnson, when you give him his due, he'd last way longer than what Bon Scott did when he started
Right.
out. Bon Scott was only with them a couple years there, up until about 1980. Johnson's still been there, and he's still with them to this very day. In fact,
I mean, some could say, didn't Kirk Hammett replace, what's his name from Megadeth? David Mustaine?
Yeah, possibly.
So some could say, what's his name is better than Mustaine? Kirk Hammett?
Kirk Hammett, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're both fine guitar players in my book there, I guess the issue between that was the was the Mustaine's addiction issues there. Because remember, he was a massive alcoholic at that time there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to the list, Go ahead, Art, my bad. Little sidebar.
No problem. Next one gets interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Klaatu.
Klaatu.
Remember calling occupants of interplanetary craft?
Ah, I see there. Welcome, Keith or Barbara, to the show there.
They were a Canadian trio. I'm reading their little blurb here. Whose anonymity and style led the press to believe they were the Beatles reincarnated.
Oh, wow, there.
Weird.
And we kind of like...
well, you remember that, like when Fozzy first came out with Jericho, they were trying to do this thing where, like, they're the ones who wrote the songs for, like, Black Sabbath and all this shit. They try to do this, like,
really?
Not a work, but just some type of just thing behind the band or whatever to make it. And obviously, no one, they were just joking or whatever, but still, like, that kind of stuff. I mean, is this the same type of deal with this band? They,
I'm not real sure, because that I don't remember about them. I do remember calling occupants of interplanetary craft, which of all people the Carpenters covered.
Wow.
No, I'm saying you said that they were reincarnated as the Beatles or whatever.
Well, people presume that they were.
They led the press and all to believe that.
Yeah. And that
what
kind
year
of
is this? What year was this band active?
70s.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly when.
It's kind of funny is because the only band that I recall up until now that was kind of like coming that was the second Beatles, where the group Badfinger.
Yeah, and they weren't even close.
Yeah, I know, that's true. You can't come close to the Fat Four, obviously, there. But some people often try to do that to get themselves known.
They were good as they were.
And by the way,
I believe the name Klaatu, if I'm not mistaken, was the main character in Day the Earth Stood Still. If you want to look that up, it's Klaatu.
Oh yeah, let
Keith,
me do
go
that.
ahead.
Yeah, he's going to look that up there. And by the way, to Minnesota Vikings fan in my chat, he said, quote unquote, "That's real sad that you took my time slot. I was using it for 3 years, dude. No one is stopping you from going live now. You could still do that."
What do I look up?
Brown, don't let him get.
Klaatu.
Don't let him get you upset.
I'm not upset. I'm not.
Klaatu, Klaatu. Double A.
Okay.
I am.
Klaatu was a Canadian rock group formed in 1973 by the duo of John Wozushuk and D. Long. They named themselves after the ambassador from the extraterrestrial confederation who visits Earth in the film The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Ah, nice.
Yep.
And their big song was Calling Occupants of Interplanetary Craft, which I believe runs 7 or 8 minutes or something like that.
Oh, wow. Interesting there.
Next one I got is Kraftwerk.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Didn't they go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame like a couple years ago?
I think so.
Kraftwerk?
Kraftwerk.
Yeah,
I think
Wow.
they're nominated for sure. I remember that name, and then I think they did actually get inducted. Keith, can you look that up? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think it was 2019, 2020, 2020. I think.
Yeah.
It's Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
German band.
Yes, turned the pioneers to techno, and before they became all techno, they were a prog band, believe it or not.
The big song I remember is Autobahn.
Yes, and this is when they decided to go all computerized and stuff with that. Started with that album. They would later, of course, cut their hair, put on these red shirts, black pants, black ties or white ties there, and start acting like machines or acting like robots. And of course, the sound they
became Devo. No, I'm kidding.
No, or actually help inspire Devo in a lot of ways. They would inspire Africa Bambaataa. They would inspire all these techno artists like Chris Liebing. They basically were like the forefronters of techno music. Needless to say, there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kraftwerk has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, meaning the pioneering German electronic outfit have officially joined the rankings of the most iconic and significant bands of all time.
And they are iconic.
That was November 1st, 2021.
Nice, cool. And also keep in mind that some of their albums, they're not basically, well, they were the ones who helped pioneer the vocal there, in their earlier tracks, like what is it, Trans Europe Express. They use this kind of like a computerized vocals on that song there. And we also cannot forget, I can go on forever, but I'm going to stop now because I don't want to overthrow the show here, but they basically helped pioneer techno music.
Yeah.
Along with Tangerine Dream and one of their former members, as I mentioned, Klaus Schulze. Or Klaus Schulze.
Klaus Schwab. No, I'm just kidding.
Good name for a band if we ever decide to put one together.
What's that? Were you thinking of Charles Schwab?
Nah,
Oh
Klaus
my
Schwab,
gosh.
Bro. Come on.
Klaus.
He runs the. He's like one of the people that run the world with Bill Gates.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Ah.
Next one I got is Crocus. They started out as a prog band, but they became a metal band
80s
later.
metal, my goodness. I remember Screaming in the Night, their cover of Schools Out by Alice Cooper. The albums like, what was it, Headhunter. I remember the song, the first time I heard of them was Long Stick Goes Boom. And that was on the compilation that one of my next door neighbors had on the cassette. He played, said, hey, tell me if this doesn't sound like AC/DC. He played it, it's like, yep, you're right. They do sound like AC/DC in a lot of ways. And I think they're still together. But I remember Screaming in the Night was a big hit on MTV on the radio there. And of course, their cover of Ballroom Blitz, which was 1986 there. I only saw them one time with the open for Judas Priest when they played the Joe Louis Arena that year. And I guess I don't know if they fizzled out or which it was, or it's still together, or only playing in European shows or whatever. But give them their due. They were like, and by the way, they hail from Switzerland, by the way, there. And they did say that Switzerland was very boring, and they had to really work extra hard, to get out there to other countries to play because they were extremely that bored over there. So, there we go.
On to the L's.
Yep.
Liquid Tension Experience.
Oh, that's cool. That sounds
Experiment.
sounds like a cool name there.
They were a band that was formed as a Dream Theater side project.
Ah. And I guess some of the members from...
Includes John Petrucci and Johnny Levin.
Ah, yeah.
And you know
John-
Kenny Levin from...
Kenny Levin, yes. Kenny Levine. From Kansas, right?
No.
Oh.
Let me try it again. Tony Levin.
Tony Levin, the bass player from King Crimson, Peter Gabriel.
Exactly.
And they also played on John Lennon's last solo record, as I mentioned a couple times there.
Yeah.
And John Petrucci, and I mentioned this Petrucci. He has this signature guitar designed by Ernie Ball Music Man. It's called the Majesty, and I mentioned that.
Yep,
Yeah,
I've seen that.
yeah, it's in.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty good looking guitar, and yeah, I just also mentioned that now they just issued an 8-string model of that guitar there.
No, I actually saw Dream Theater back in 2011, 2012 open for Iron Maiden.
Nice, sweet.
Yep. Oh, remember that?
Cool there.
Yeah, Dream Theater is one of the more extensive prog rock groups.
Yep.
Okay, next one I got. It's another interesting name. Lucifer's Friend.
Oh my goodness. I remember that song, "Goodbye Girls." That was played for a while, short while on the old MTV. Now they were a prog band, but they later, I guess they later moved on to the basic hard rock realms, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Yes. And I remember a lot of Christian fundamentalists were attacking them because of the name alone there. And I guess,
Right.
but then again, at that time, many bands could come up with the most strangest and unique type of names because, that's how it's both original and that's how it gets the public's attention. Like, for instance,
Exactly.
yeah, some can be a little bit too harsh, I admit. Like, for instance, Motorhead was originally supposed to be called Bastard until the management decided, nah, not a good idea. Best to use best to use a term that's used for speed freaks as their band name there.
A little more descriptive of the band, actually.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, those were the two most interesting ones I saw on the L's. M's.
Mm-hmm.
First one,
Yeah.
first one I got is Magellan. So not only to sail around the world, he formed a rock band.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
That was a joke.
Okay.
Poor, but what the heck.
Cheesy, but it was good. It was needed.
Magenta.
Magenta? That's the name of the band?
Magenta.
Magenta. Ah. Is that a band out of Europe, I guess?
I think so.
Nice.
Which I believe is a color, too.
Hmm. Interesting there because,
Like a purple. Yeah, it's like a different shade of purple.
The next one's got an interesting name, and I don't know why, but it's just kind of one of those things that I go, what? Magma.
Magma. I think I remember hearing that name a couple times before.
Well, it's just one of those names that makes you think of, well, I don't know, just weird.
Almost reminds you of someone. All you need now is the last name, and then you have yourself the name of a pro wrestler. All right.
Next one I got is Magna Carta, which was an English progressive folk group.
Interesting.
And then one that I actually kind of got into pretty much in the early 70s, the Mahavishnu Orchestra.
Oh, I remember. That's John
Their
McLaughlin,
guitars,
right?
Yes, yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this one before. There, one of the cooks at the old restaurants that I worked in while living in Richmond, Michigan. He burned me a copy of one of their earlier albums titled "Birds of Fire." Pretty good
Yeah.
stuff on that album there. And
In fact, the title track is really good.
And also, he did an album, collaboration album with Carlos Santana. And this is when they had those little names at the front of their regular names. And I guess at the time, Carlos was Debadap Carlos Santana. And I don't know the other name that McLaughlin was using with along with his. But they were both, under the what's that person's name? I'm trying to figure out this. Dang gummit, I forgot the guy's name, but he was mentioned. Some of his quotes were mentioned a couple times on some Santana albums there. But I knew know the album that they'd worked on together was called Love, Devotion, Surrender.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Next one I got is Manfred Mann's Earth Band.
Oh my goodness gracious! Now,
Now, Manfred Mann was not prog, but that group was.
absolutely.
And I'm sure you're familiar with the song "Blinded by the
Yeah,
Light."
the Springsteen cover, and also
Yes.
and also another Springsteen song they did called "For You," which came out in 1980. I think it was in 81 or 82, but it was a damn good song, damn good cover they did of Springsteen there.
And they did a good cover of "Spirits in the Night."
Absolutely, I
which was
remember
another
hearing that.
Springsteen.
Yes. Now, where's the guy now, Manfred Mann? Is he still around? Or
I honestly don't know.
I should probably look him up there. While I'm on the
Well, they
subject.
did another couple of songs, one called "Circles" that was good, and "California."
Mm-hmm.
You said Manfred and Mann?
No, Manfred,
Manfred Mann.
double N.
That's right. Manfred Mann's Earth Band.
Okay.
And it was, of course, named after. Now, Manfred Mann was, of course, the group Manfred Mann was from 62 to 69, and later on it became, Manfred Mann's Earth Band.
Okay. It says now 73 and a widower, Manfred, who has 2 children from his first marriage, divides his time between London and Sweden.
Hmm.
Wow.
I see there. Does he record any albums, by the way? Or is he just kind of like retired?
Let me look that up.
Yeah.
Another good song they did was called "Give Me the Good Earth."
I should probably look up that one of the "For You" by Manfred Mann, later on tonight, because I have memories of listening to that when I was getting ready for school around that time, high school. That was being on the radio a lot.
He doesn't make music anymore.
Oh wow, that's sad because he came out with some damn good stuff there.
Yeah, I saw one just now. Diddy. I was listening to that song like
That's
a
a
year.
60s. That's a 60s tune.
Yeah, that he did that, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, the former group he headed.
Yeah, it was simply called Manfred Mann. The one we're speaking of was the second band he would put together, the Earth Band there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Am I supposed to look something up?
Not well.
No.
If you want to, go ahead and look out some of the other bands that you want to throw in, if you like to, man. In the meantime, Mr. Joshua Hampton, if you're still listening, if you want me to add you on Skype, let me know in the chat, because he wanted to call in a couple times, I guess to say hi there. Let me know in the chat if you want to be on the part of the show. And
Brown, I think it's that troll that keeps calling us. I don't know if I would. I never heard of that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's made a couple of comments on my videos. In fact, the one I made last night, talking about, there's storms coming, in the Texas area, which he was correct, because when I got home, from my little stroll around the area there and went to bed, it did storm. So, we'll have to wait and see. If he wants me to add him to the chat, have us come and say hi, let me know in the chat there, bro.
Next one gets Marillion.
We heard that band many times before. The Fish, their frontman, their song Kaylee, which I remember from 1985.
Then I got Mars Volta.
Oh my God! And these are members of the ex-members of At the Drive-In, which was a
Mars Volta. That Nikki Nines is a big fan of them.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't know they were
Good band.
progressive rock. I thought they were like
Yep.
Aren't they a Hispanic band, like Hispanic members or something?
Not that I know of, but I know that they were former members of At the Drive-In, which were based out of Texas. I mean, I could have seen a couple of one of their videos being played on the OTM TV there, and then I guess when that band broke up, they decided two of the members decided to form their new group, and I guess they got a lot of compliments from Lars Ulrich from Metallica when Mars Volta opened for them, and I guess that basically it was about 45 minutes into the set there, and they were only on their second song.
Yeah, they're one of those long prog bands.
Yep.
I tell you what, let's take up an entire side of an album.
Or I bet you do one song now for an hour and a half there and call it night.
Yeah. Or let's be like Yes and release a double album with all four sides, one song.
Yeah, that's right. Or Klaus Schulze, as I mentioned, did the same thing early in his career. Look up the album Cyborg.
Well, I guess Yes technically divided that song into four parts, but it was all supposed to be one song.
Oh, interesting there. I never knew about that either.
Tales from Topographic Oceans.
Yeah, we got to look it up, everybody there.
Next time is Mastodon.
I heard of them a lot.
After the really big elephant.
I heard about that, and they're still around. I guess they're still putting out albums. They're still doing shows there. In fact, I remember hearing that they did an album about John Merrick, the Elephant Man.
Wow.
All the songs from that album was about him. If I'm incorrect, feel free to correct me in the chat or call in or whichever there.
Next one I got is McDonald and Giles.
Two former members of King Crimson, Ian McDonald and Michael Giles.
Yeah.
They were, remembered, this was after the success of their first record, In the Court of the Crimson King. After that, there was a lot of tensions going on between the band members, and they decided to leave the group as a result. People were writing off that King Crimson is gone, but they eventually would come back with a whole bunch of albums and lineups there. And those two decided, to come up with their own little project. Now, Ian McDonald, years on down the line, would come with the members of the band Foreigner. He would play on their first three albums, the self-titled First, Double Vision, and Head Games. Before I guess he was outcasted from the group, along with a couple of this other member there. That's when they decided to become a four-piece.
What did you say, Wire?
What?
Wire said something.
No, that was Keith.
No,
that was Keith.
Me. I was watching a video and I couldn't watch it. All right.
Okay. It's okay.
Okay.
All right.
The next group I got is, I think everybody's heard of them, the Moody Blues.
Oh my gosh, one of my favorites, man. That's when I first really heard of the Mellotron.
And they're credited with making the first progressive rock album, Days of Future Past.
Yeah, which it was, which was their material, mixing with some orchestral elements, pieces in there, in between the songs there. And it was basically the description of a day in one's life there. Morning, afternoon, lunch break, evening there. And all the songs were arranged to resemble the mood of that particular time. Like Nights in White Satin was the nighttime. The end, where, of course, Graham Edge, the drummer, did his little poetry there, closing out the album there.
By the way, he just died.
What? Graham Edge from the Moody Blues?
Yeah,
let me
I believe
look.
either today or yesterday.
Oh, I got to look it up there. Wow. Give me a...
What?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Graham English New Graham Edge, at the time. Like, let me look it up here. Let's see here. Okay, here. He is dead. Yes, right. He is dead. This was some 3 hours ago on the USA Today.
He's fucking dead.
He's dead. Oh, you dork.
Are you doing the Beatles?
Am I doing? No, I'm doing the. I'm looking up the movie.
No, talking about Paul's a dead man or whatever.
No, he was referring to something that Tommy and
I know.
C2010 said. The phone
Whole
original
community lore.
Graham Edge, the lone original member of the Moody Blues, has died at the age of 80. Frontman Justin Hayward confirmed the news in a Facebook post on the band's, go ad free. Come on, this thing comes in. Looks like your ad blocker is on. Son of a bitch! I hate when it does that.
Ad blocker works too good.
Yeah, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. These things popping up when I'm looking up an article. Subscribe to our page here and get the news updates. Fuck you with a broomstick. That's all I got to say to them. But Graham Edge, I just found out about this now. He was also a poet for the group. He wrote some good ass poetry for the band there. He wrote the lyrics to the song Higher and Higher from To Our Children's Children's Children's. He did the poetry for Peace. Wait.
Is that the song, Keep Lifting Me Higher and Higher?
No.
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 Oh. All right.
You have to look up the album To Our Children's Children's Children by the Moody Blues, and you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
He also wrote poetry for like the Balance, closing out the Question of Balance album. He also wrote this poetry piece, which title I forgot, that was on the Threshold of a Dream album there.
Yeah.
And he wrote some pretty good stuff there.
Late lament off of Nights in White Satin.
Oh man, that's true there. Yeah. Rest in peace,
And
Mr. Edge.
Then the beginning thing.
Yes, of the On the Threshold of a Dream album.
No, I was thinking of In Search of the Lost Chord.
Yeah, because Edge wrote that piece on that other album just as well that I mentioned.
Yeah.
And it was called In the Beginning.
Well, basically anything involving poetry, talking poetry, you can pretty much attribute to
Graham Edge.
Graham Edge.
Yeah, so rest in peace, Graham Edge of the Moody Blues. You would be definitely missed, for sure, man.
I forgot. Yeah.
Apparently there's...
We have technical difficulties. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Technical difficulty.
Okay, yeah. It's okay, dude.
Okay.
All right.
We all live real lives, you know what I'm saying? A little interruption here.
Yeah,
Sorry about that, guys.
But that's
Don't
understandable.
worry about it. No big deal.
No big problem.
All right, it's done. Yep. Go ahead.
Then we got Patrick Moraz.
Who played with Yes and the Moody Blues and had a couple of solo albums of his own. He came in for the Moody Blues after Mike Pinder was either quit or left go from the band back around when he came out with Long Distance Voyager back in 1981.
Yeah,
And
I think the story is he quit because he didn't want to do the grind of going in the studio and going home and going to the studio, whatever.
The daily rock and roll schedule there, touring album, that kind of stuff there. But he basically go ahead. Yeah. And let's not forget he did that one album with Yes called Relayer from '74. Another good album there to listen to, especially the opening track, which takes up all of side one, The Gates of Delirium.
Yeah. Yes, didn't believe in wasting an album side.
Nope.
Let's put one song on it and make it 20 minutes.
Well, you don't have to. Well, the one thing you don't have to worry about, fillers on a Yes album.
Nope. Well, Fragile had some stuff that could be considered fillers, but I actually found them entertaining.
Mm.
You know, it's little short bits in between the songs.
Yes, that's true there. Well, it's probably done on purpose, to give them. People like to do often put little snippets of instrumental snippets in between tracks there, to keep it more interesting,
Yeah. Next one I got's Mostly Autumn.
That's the name of the band?
Yeah.
Ah,
In some cases, I don't know much about the band, but I just like the name, so I read it.
nice. Cool.
My Brightest Diamond. Okay.
That's an interesting name. I've never heard of that one before there.
Actually, neither have I till I saw the name here.
Oh, nice. I think that's here from Europe, Sweden, or UK there, I think.
Oh, I just have a name.
Okay, and no information about them.
Well, there probably is, but I don't have it.
Okay.
On to the ends. Nectar.
Nectar.
Nektar.
Okay there.
That reminds me of
They were.
Yeah, go ahead.
that reminds me of Reptar. Which was like a toy dinosaur on Rugrats.
Well, somebody will probably name their group after that sometime in the future there.
Yeah.
Right.
Then I got the New York Rock and Roll Ensemble. They were 60s and 70s.
I see there. And what was there? I think I remember hearing that name one time before there. It may have been a short while, maybe one or two songs there. And what's the hit song that they'd perform by chance?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
I should start looking this stuff up.
Yeah. Because some of the names, the one you mentioned before, Nectar, it sounds very familiar. I remember hearing that name a couple times.
Oh yeah, they had several songs. I just don't remember what they were off the top of my head.
All right. I don't know if it was a 90s group or an 80s rock band or whichever it was, but...
I think they were actually 70s.
Oh, okay there.
Nectar.
All right there.
New York Rock and Roll Ensemble was 60s and 70s.
All right there. I see.
And the next one I got is worth a little discussion.
Yeah.
The Nice.
This is Keith Emerson's old band prior to hooking up with Greg Lake and Carl Palmer there.
Yeah.
And of course, Keith Emerson, one badass organ player, and also he was a badass keyboard player all in all there, along with Rick Wakeman from Yes.
Yeah.
If Tony was on the call here, we should definitely recommend the two names that I mentioned to Tony to look up and listen to. Definitely.
Yeah, because the Nice actually had some pretty
You
good
don't listen
stuff.
to nothing I say or ever have, so I doubt he'll take any advice I've ever given him or will give him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man of his own.
Yeah,
Make
but
his own choices.
so
Decisions.
no. But the thing is, he should let down some of that arrogance and let some other things in.
Oh, is he one of those guys that thinks he's the king?
Well, sometimes he has.
Yeah.
I really don't know. That's why I'm asking.
You probably have to watch some of the YR shows that he had Tony on to get the full detail of this guy. I mean, he is a damn good keyboard player. He finally got his channel going. He has a 3-hour program that he has. I guess it's by himself now. He does a little bit of piano playing.
Today he did or it was either today or yesterday he did a weed like a weed review of this new weed that's out.
Oh, okay. So he's a weed head, I guess. Well, of course,
Yeah.
I suspected a long time since he talked about that a couple of times on your show, YR. The thing, speaking of which, I got to say this, and where did Tony get the idea that I got high?
Gotta let the guy do his own thing. And, I don't try to.
I
I
know.
have nothing really anything to say about the guy. You know what I'm saying?
But
So,
Yeah.
it's just kind of odd that he thought that I was a weed smoker when I don't even smoke cigarettes.
he thinks a lot of things.
I
I
know.
can't. I don't know what he's thinking. You know what I mean?
Well, Doctor, it looks like either weed or alcohol like took a toll on how you look.
How I look?
Yeah, I mean, it- like
An assumption.
you look like an old person.
I'm 55 years old,
Okay,
and
that's young.
yes, and I heard this about look from my father.
Oh, okay.
I show Pro V that a couple years back, because you remember he said that I did crystal meth when I don't. So I had to. So in the revenge for that, I kind of like made fun of his wife there for being too old for him. So he asked me why was I doing that on the Skype conversation, and I told him that. I also showed him the picture of my father and how he looked. And as you get, if I were to get that picture right now, I definitely, in fact, I'll probably do that right now. I will
Okay.
show. I will definitely. Blah blah blah. Let's see here. You guys go ahead, dudes.
Well, since we're getting close to an hour, I don't want to start the O's.
All right, there.
So, what was the other thing you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, Gene Simmons. So
Okay.
what?
Keith, look up that Gene Simmons thing. Remarks. It was on
Okay.
TMZ and everything. And then after this show, we're doing a quick Rat Maniacs, discuss some more of the Astroworld updates before Mars goes live.
Yeah, what
here
the
in a
hell
couple
happened
hours.
there? I heard about that. That's
You
sad.
know where
Yeah.
you know where the dome is, the Astrodome, and all
I
that.
never been there, but I heard
Off of
it's in
Kirby.
Houston. But so I know it's in
Yeah.
Houston.
It's off of Kirby. It's off of Kirby. It's a kind of bad part of
Okay.
town where
I
the
see.
Yeah,
Texans
it's been
play and all
closed
that.
down a while.
Mm.
I think it's been closed down a while, hadn't it?
Yeah, like probably going on 20 years.
Mm.
Yeah.
In the 2000s. I think it was like 2004, 2003 maybe.
One of
something
the interesting things about the Astrodome, anyway, that I thought was that they bragged all the time about we'll never have a rain out, and they actually had a game rained out there because the parking lot got flooded and no one could get there.
Wow.
Oh, the dome. I think the dome closed in 1999.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
but they
they
actually had a rain out at the Astrodome, which is
Yeah.
I
kind of
remember
like
they put people there during Hurricane Katrina, and
Yeah, we
a
I remember like people were outside the stadium and like we kind of cleaned out our closet and had a couple bags of older clothes we didn't wear anymore, and we like whistled over some dude and he was like, "You want some clothes?" And he was really happy, and we gave him a couple cigarettes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Did you ever go to the Astrodome?
no, I
Games?
never did. I wanted to, but I never did.
I went to the rodeo like 3 or 4 times there. Many Astros games, Monster Truck Rally. I never seen the Oilers there. Never seen the Oilers. Oh, I saw WrestleMania 17 there too.
Nice.
WrestleMania 17. Yeah, I remember that. I remember caught a foul ball one day. Astros played there. It's probably like 97, 98. Something like that. So remember those days. And that place is like the That's why they'll never knock it down, bro. It's like Madison Square Garden. They should have repurposed and redone that shit and never got the new Astros arena, field. They should have redone that whole done because that place is very. Isn't they call it the ninth wonder of the world or something?
Yeah.
I mean, it's historic.
I remember Hurricane Katrina tore a hole in the roof of the Astrodome.
Katrina, you mean Harvey?
No, it tore a hole in the roof down in New Orleans in their dome.
Oh,
Oh, okay, yeah.
I see there.
My bad.
It's okay.
I don't even know the name of that stadium.
No, I've never been to
I got-
Louisiana, so I wouldn't know.
Silverdome, I think.
Yeah.
Gene Simmons remarks.
Yeah.
Speaking to Us Weekly, Simmons apologized for his remarks, saying, "I don't mean to hurt people's feelings, and every once in a while, Daryl Holy of the Month comes out. I read that quote, and somehow the way they put it together, I think I said something like, 'Nobody touched David in his prime.'"
Hmm.
What?
Huh?
No, Gene Simmons like COVID remarks, not David Lee Roth remarks. He
Yeah.
did beef with
Oh.
David Lee Roth a couple weeks ago or a month ago.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Gene Simmons rips anti-vaxxers. If
Yeah,
you're
there we
willing
go.
to walk
Yeah.
among us, if you're willing to walk among us unvaccinated, you are an enemy.
Oh
Should I keep reading?
gosh.
Should I
Sure, go
keep
ahead.
reading?
Yeah.
Okay. Gene Simmons is blasting COVID-19 deniers and unvaccinated Americans, calling them the enemy. If you're willing to walk among us unvaccinated, you are the enemy, the KISS frontman said Wednesday in an interview on Talk Shop Live. I don't care about your political beliefs, the rock and roll all night singer said when discussing canceling tour dates earlier this month when he and fellow bandmate Paul Stanley tested positive with so-called breakthrough cases of the coronavirus after being vaccinated, and a guitar tech for the group reportedly died. You are not
Wow.
allowed to infect anybody just because you think you've got rights that are delusional, Simmons 72 said. You don't have the right to go through a red light. Actually, the government has the right to tell you to stop, he continued. If they
Wow.
tell you you can't smoke in the building, you can't smoke in the building. And that's not because they want to take away your rights. That's because the rest of us hate it. We don't want to smell your smoke. I don't want to catch your disease, Simmons added. I don't want to risk my life just because you want to go through a red light. The whole idea, this delusional, evil idea that you get to do whatever you want and the rest of the world be damned is really terrible. Simmons shredded both Democrats and Republicans as evil for spreading what he described as all kinds of nonsense. I don't like either one of them. Politics are the enemy. Humanism and humanity is what we should all be concerned about. Love thy neighbor as thyself, Simmons said. For God's sakes, if I'm going to yawn in your presence, I'm going to put my hand up in front of my mouth. He said, yawning is not a life-threatening event. You having COVID might be a life-threatening event, and I don't want to catch it. Citing the worldwide death toll of more than 5 million people due to COVID-19, according to Johns Hopkins University data, Simmons likened coronavirus deniers to Flat Earth Society people. No, bitch,
What?
they died because they got COVID. It's seemingly a reference to Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who made misleading comments about his vaccination test. Simmons said, I don't care if you play football or not. Stay away from evil people who don't care about your health.
Hmm.
God.
All right. Just put it in the Skype chat a picture of my father.
Okay.
All right, check
All
him
right.
out.
Okay.
Now see if you look at him and you look at me,
Oh, yeah.
and you can tell the difference, see the similarities.
Okay. Did you send two different pics?
I sent
Or,
one.
like,
Yeah,
both?
I sent one in there. One was like one of those download things. It took a while. Whenever my OBS is on, it usually works a lot
Okay.
works funky there when it does that.
Oh, I see now. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the same picture I showed the Pro V when during that whole issue there that we was having that I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
And plus, would it be after all this horror stories I heard about what happened and what people do to presume their to get their remember that Wire? Remember that story about that woman who got struck by a car heading about going about 70, 80 miles per hour months back.
Where in Houston or
No,
just in general?
no, it was in Chelsea, Michigan. This woman,
Ah.
her name was Sylvia. She was a full-blown heroin addict. She was living off a disability. She lied to get to it. I don't know how, but she was a full-blown heroin addict because she wanted to keep the money for her drugs. She would steal food, clothing, and
Right.
other stuff for her and her two kids that she was raising by herself. But she had to keep stealing. Her and a friend was in the Myers in Chelsea, Michigan. I guess they were running from the place. They were on I-94 with no lamp lights overhead. Those big, those lights in the middle of between the two lanes there, whatever they call there, those kind of
Yeah.
lights.
Right.
But it was a dark highway there. Sylvia apparently dropped something there. She tried to get it and was struck by a car going about 70, 80 miles an hour.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and it was because of drugs that she became the massive thief that she was. She was not allowed in any stores, supermarkets. She would steal from all of it. Why? Because she wanted the food, clothing, but she didn't want to use her money because that went towards her heroin addiction.
Wow,
Yeah.
crazy.
And when when we went to her funeral, me and her sister, who I was involved with at that time, friendship-wise, they had to really make her over. They had to give her a wig. They had to do tons of makeup. I tried to look in the casket there downwards, and I couldn't see her legs because those got ripped off in the crash there.
God.
Yeah.
God.
I heard the first time you do heroin, it rewires your brain, so you'll always be addicted to heroin.
Yeah. That's why I
'Cause
came.
the first time you do it, it rewires your brain.
Yes. Stay away from it, people. All it does is destroy. Destroy, period. Look what it did to Dwayne Gotel's Skinny Puppy, Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols. Look what it did to everybody else that we know of.
Tony from Revere, you know?
Oh. Oh, dude. He's going to probably hear that and it's not like, wow.
I mean, now he says he does heroin shit in the past and all that
What?
shit.
Are you serious? Dude.
Yeah, he's telling heroin stories like a couple months ago. Smell of it and stuff.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Stay away from that shit, Tony. Be smart for once.
I mean, I doubt he does it now, but I'm saying he knows it. Like he's telling stories about it. It's not a dig at him, or not. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember Lil Boozy was doing an interview with DJ Vlad, and he was talking about his addiction to scissor, and like you say,
All right, this is the rap show, Keith. It's not a rap show. Save that for the rap show.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're probably I'll be probably at the call of the night pretty soon here. I know Ark's got some things to do. I got some things to do as well. But stay away from drugs, people. All they do is all they do is destroy shit. You and everything around you.
Yeah.
Bottom line, guys.
Yeah.
All right, so I know we'll resume this on Monday as always, there, and I guess
Right.
we're going to
Yes.
be at the we're still in the what was it, the K's, I believe. No,
We'll start at the O's.
okay, the O's. My bad there. All right, there.
Not
And there's
okay. Oh.
okay, a lot of O's. Started the O's up there. Maybe we could get Gatekeeper Drew to come back on as a guest
Yeah.
again if he's
that'd be cool.
available. All right, there.
Oh,
All right,
that'd be
then.
good.
All right then. Okay, that's it. Does it for our show today. YR and Keith are going to do their show on YR's channel. A couple minutes there. Go definitely check it out if you're a hip hop freak. And by the way, remind you, and we will resume our discussion on this on our usual Monday slot. Same time there. And I will see you